Welcome to Entertainment Tech. My name's Sarah Luke.
And I'm Candace Barbara.
Today we've got a great episode filled with TV shows, movie reviews, and all the latest celebrity happenings.
Let's start with some TV show reviews.
We said goodbye to our favorite Pretty Little Liars after the Season 3 finale. Pretty Little Liars is known for its dramatic plot twists, and this episode was no exception. It was revealed last episode that Spencer is now working with the A-Team. The other girls find out when Ezra's son identifies her as the person who kidnapped him. Spencer uses her new A-Team strings to locate Toby, whom she thinks is dead. Her and Toby have a tearful reunion and end the night in a motel room. Ezra desperately needs a job, and when he is offered a job at the high school, Arya tells him to take it because of the money, and the relationship has been struggling ever since his son came into the picture. Arya and Ezra have a very emotional goodbye. The scene mimics the scene at Allie's funeral from the show's pilot episode, making Pretty Little Liar fans everywhere reaching for tissues. With Toby, Spencer, Arya, Hannah, and Emily all working on the same team against the A-Team, they finally think they have a shot at uncovering who the girl in the red coat is. The girls track Mona and attempt to find out who the red coat is when Mona reveals she does not know, and the house they are in catches on fire. The girls are all rescued from the fire, Mona and Hannah claiming it was Allie in the red coat who pulled them out of the fire, and Spencer confessing that she saw her in the woods as well. The episode ends finding Detective Wilden's car pulled out of the lake and revealing something shocking in the trunk of the car. We will have to wait until Pretty Little Liars returns on June 11th to see what is in the trunk and if Allie is alive, and even worse, if she is A.
Alright, my melody-singing, ballad-loving fans, it's come down to the finals here on American Idol. With only 9 left and 1 booted off this week, it's time to pick our favorites. Amber, Devin, and Paul Jolly find themselves in the bottom 3 awaiting their fate. Lorazzo left no stone unturned, or should I say no contestant unturned, when dishing out his criticisms. But ironically, they were not only on point, but consistent and relative. But might I add, this is also coming from the guy who tends to tear up more than any Nicholas Sparks fan reading The Notebook for the 100th time. So who gets the boot, the kick, the "you're the weakest link, goodbye"? Ah yes, sorry Paul Jolly, but it's you who we must bid farewell. Who'll crack under the pressure of songhood next week? Tune into Fox Wednesdays at 8 to find out.
Drama, wine, parties, more drama, and more wine is usually how it goes for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The season finale episode takes place at Lisa's house for her housewarming party and vow renewals with Ken, her husband of 30 years. Brandy and Yolanda continue to try to smack some sense into a very nosy Faye who can't seem to take a hint. After finding out the news of Adrian and Paul's separation that day, everyone assumes Adrian will be a no-show like she has been for most of the season, but that is not the case. An extremely emotional Adrian makes a grand entrance into the party, with friends all around offering a shoulder to cry on. Ken and Lisa are offended that Adrian does not say hello or goodbye before leaving their party, at their home. Typical Adrian, as Ken would say. The episode ends with the most heartwarming season Real Housewives fans have seen in a while, Ken and Lisa's vow renewals. All of the housewives can agree it is wonderful and rare to see the love they have for each other for the past 30 years and will continue to have. Okay, don't get too mushy now because part 1 of the reunion has already aired and the fighting has come out full force. Don't miss part 2 of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Monday at 8 on Bravo.
So Sarah, what's going on with Pretty Little Liars?
Okay, well, the season finale aired recently, and I've got to be honest, I used to be like a big Pretty Little Liar fan, and I was so excited for every episode. This season, though, I just didn't, I don't know, I thought it was pretty stupid. Like, Spencer was depressed the entire season because Toby broke up with her and he was part of the A-Team, which I get, yeah, that's upsetting. But the whole season, I don't know, I honestly was just like kind of over it, and Arya and Ezra's relationship, like, I know this sounds bad, but in the season finale when they're breaking up, part of me wanted to be like, why don't they just kill Ezra off? Like, that would just be such a great twist. And then the other part of me is like, have we forgotten he's, what, 26 and she's like 17? Is this still not weird for anyone?
It's just like the whole, like, the show, I was a really big fan of it too when it first started out, the first like 2 seasons. Like, I thought it was so interesting, and then as it kept going, I lost interest because some of the relationships got boring, the characters started getting boring, and it was just annoying because also they would try to throw all this drama at you, all these twists and turns, and really you're like, these girls are 16, 17 years old, and they're hooking up with people 10 years older than them, by the way, which is interesting. They're getting all these threats about them. Maybe it's just because I'm logical. Why don't you tell your parents?
I know.
When I was 16, I would have run to my mom the first moment I got a text from someone who said they were my dead friend.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. And the thing is, like, these girls, honestly, I was thinking about this. Wouldn't have anything to hold against them if they didn't do all this stuff that was, like, wrong. Like,
and the thing is, what they're supposed to have done this stuff in the past. What, when they were 11? Like, when did you do all this bad stuff? The year you turned 15? Maybe I was a naive, little innocent child at 15, 16, but I didn't do anything this bad. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, but that's the way TV is in general. They always make, like, teenagers seem so much older than they actually are, and way more dramatic than teenagers really are.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I do enjoy Pretty Little Liars, and when the episode's good, I get really into it. But just this past season, I have been extremely disappointed. I think because it's just been going on and on and on.
It's like, okay, who's A?
Yeah, they're like, Mona's A. Oh, wait, no. Toby's A. Oh, wait, no. Girl in the red coat. Like, just solve it, end the show, and I'll be happy when I find out who A is, you know?
Exactly.
Except the season finale, it was actually a great season finale compared to the rest of the season. Yeah, because, first of all, Arya and Ezra's breakup scene, it was actually really sad because in the pilot episode, the very, very first episode, during Allie's funeral, Ezra and Arya kind of talking about how they shouldn't be together because he's her teacher, and it was like one of those special scenes that fans remember. And now during the breakup scene in this finale, they basically recreated the scene, had the same music, they were standing in like a staircase, just how it happened. Like, it kind of made, I think, fans really emotional because this relationship that's been going on since the first episode is kind of ending, you know, and I think it's sad, but I'm not heartbroken over it. Honestly, Arya should probably just find someone her own age, you know?
Like, for me, like, a couple things that I've noticed about the characters in general. One, I think it's hilarious when they do the flashbacks and you see how fat Hannah was when really she's maybe 3 pounds heavier than she is now. That always bothered me because as a once fat kid, it annoys me when they call someone who's perfectly normal sized fat because it's like you don't know what it's like being fat. 2, going off that scene with Ezra and Arya, I've read a lot of reviews about it, and I've read a lot saying that Arya has multiple personality syndrome. If you notice, in a lot of the scenes, she's always looking in mirrors, wearing reflective stuff, questioning things, getting confused easily, forgetting what she does, all of that. And most people kind of forget about it because they never point anything at Arya.
Yeah.
I mean, look at her relationship with Ezra. Now that they're going all the way back and replaying the exact same time when they met up. Is this something going on in her head? Like, what could this be? Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some twist with Arya in the end because I do believe that what I read on Tumblr is right, that she might be schizophrenic, that she might have multiple personality syndrome, and something along those lines. Because why else would the producers take so much time to always have mirrors in almost every scene that she's in, especially when she's by herself? Like, one of the first scenes you ever see her in the first season, she's looking in the mirror in her room.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And she's always looking in mirrors and staring at herself.
I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping that's what's happening. You know, I really hope
interesting.
They have, like, some huge twist in the end because we've been waiting 3 seasons for something huge to happen. Either I want Arya to turn out to be A, or I'm really hoping Allie's alive, or the whole story about Allie's twin is alive, something along those lines. If it turns out to be, like, Melissa's A, or, you know, something stupid like that.
That'd be so stupid.
I'd be really annoyed. Also, something I want to bring up, which was just weird, and I'm sure people noticed this. Ezra's son, okay, Ezra is Caucasian. The mother, Caucasian. So how is the son Asian? I just didn't get that. And the thing
Maybe it's adopted?
No, but why I'm confused, because when they first showed him a few episodes ago, he was a different boy. Like, I guess they had to recast him, but I was just really confused about that. I mean, the boy's really cute, and I like him. I was just watching this like, this is confusing. So, I don't know, maybe he's A. Who knows?
Yeah, right, maybe that little Asian kid.
Yeah, so we'll
Wouldn't
see.
Suspect him.
I mean, I'm excited for it to come back in June. I just hope we get more answers when it comes back. But also, really breaking news about Pretty Little Liars is that a spin-off show called Ravenswood is now going to start up on ABC Family because sorry, I can't speak. That's a tongue twister, Pretty Little Liars, when you say it like 5 times. Okay, well, they've been renewed for a 5th season, and the 4th season hasn't even aired yet. They're filming it right now, and this is crazy for them to be renewed for season 5 when they haven't even done season 4.
Yeah, especially because who knows what characters want to stay on. Sometimes they like to leave halfway through.
Yeah.
Think the show is done. They want to be like, deuces.
That's true.
Know?
So we'll see what Ravenswood. My guess is Ravenswood. They're starting it because Pretty Little Liars got it in sometime. They're gonna have to leave high school, so maybe they want this show to continue after Pretty Little Liars is over. And during the Pretty Little Liars Halloween episode, they're going to introduce the Ravenswood characters and then start Ravenswood after that.
Okay,
so
that should be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll keep our eyes open for that. And then something I also wanted to just briefly talk about was the Vampire Diaries, because I know I've talked about it before. And I just wanted to say how disappointed I am with this season. It is horrendous. Like,
I mean, the moment that they made Elena a vampire, you knew it was going to go downhill.
Yeah.
Because the whole basis of her character was the strong emotion to keep her family together, the strong emotion of love, all that. She turned off her humanity.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? What, just lots of hot sex scenes with Ian? Not that I'm complaining. I love Ian Somerhalder, and I'm okay with that. But there's no plot to that then. It's just, free softcore porn.
Yeah. I mean, Elena was always so likable, and you know what I mean? And now she's so ruthless, and I just don't like her character. Her family's dead, so yeah, she has nothing really
and
to
Jeremy
fight
was hot
for.
too. What, are you going to kill off all the hot people? Don't you kill off my Ian Somerhalder.
I love Jeremy. They're not going to kill off Ian. But the thing is, like, I was obviously Team Stefan, so now that she's with Damon, I'm like, I'm over this.
You were Team Stefan, I was always Team Damon.
I'm Team Stefan, I don't know. But now I'm not Team anything.
The thing is, Stefan and Elena, what bothered me about their relationship all along was like, I love you so much. We are perfect together, blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah.
That's annoying. I don't want to watch some perfect couple.
That's why I liked it, though.
Oh, I didn't.
I mean, I don't know. So you know what, like, part of me just wants this show to, like, end right here, right now, so we can get out of Elena's stupid I'm a mad vampire phase and move on. So we'll see what happens. All right, now, Jimmy Fallon is rumored that he's replacing Jay Leno.
I like Jimmy Fallon. I think he'll be funny. If he does take over Jay Leno's job, he'll bring something new to the late night talk shows, because Jay Leno's been there for how long? Like a really long time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And he's funny and all, but Jimmy Fallon is something our generation can relate to more than Jay Leno, so that'll be something new.
I love Jimmy Fallon. I think he's hilarious. The only thing that makes me sad about this is because Jimmy Fallon films Late Night with Jimmy Fallon in New York City, so I sometimes will go to, like, the free tapings. But if he replaces Jay Leno, I'm nervous he's going to move to Burbank, California, and film there.
Not.
So if he stays in New York, I'm all for it, because any free showing I can go to Jimmy Fallon. I'm like,
we should do
into that
in May.
Let's do it. It's so fun. All right, now lastly, we talked about Girl Meets World.
I'm so excited.
And now William Daniels, Mr. Feeny, is actually going to return for the pilot episode. What do you think?
I think that's going to be great. He was one of the main reasons why I love the show so much. He had the words of wisdom, the advice, all of that. So that'll be really cool to see him come in. And the fact that Sean, Eric, and Rachel are going to visit too. Like, it's going to be really nice to see the show.
Well, Sean, Eric, and Rachel, they're not going to be on the show.
They're just going to visit.
They came to visit the set.
Yeah.
And the thing that one of the little girls who plays one of the young characters tweeted a picture like, me with Ryder Strong, yeah, like, awesome. And I just want to look at her and be like, honey, you were like 1 year old when this show came out. Like, please don't act like you're a fan. We're fans.
No, I'm diehard Girl Meets World. Someone actually came up to me this weekend. They're like, you know what? Who you look like? I was like, what? Like, you look like Topanga. And I was like, you know what? I don't, but I'll take that as a compliment because I love her.
It's like, even if I don't look like her,
I'll just take it anyway. Thank you. It was
Thank you.
cool. But I'm excited for Girl Meets World. It'll definitely kind of the 90s, child and all of us will scream with excitement. I'm excited for it.
I am pretty excited. And who doesn't want to see Corey and Topanga back together? They better not have any, like, marriage struggles or anything, or else I'll
really sad.
Turn my TV off. They need to live happily ever after, like we all hoped,
Yeah.
All right, well, stay tuned, because featured anchors Alexis Craghead and Stephen Hunter are up next.
Hi, I'm Stephen Hunter. 1600 Pin is NBC's new comedy series about a U.S. president trying to keep order in the nation as well as in his family. In the latest episode, the president's oldest son, Skip, is trying to use a first date to impress the girl he has fallen for. Wary of Skip's social awkwardness, his stepmother, Emily, tries to give him dating advice through an earpiece. But when the girl finds out about the plot, Skip decides to impress her the old-fashioned way, using his own personality, and ends up weirding her out even more. Elsewhere, the president is playing his youngest son, Xander, in a board game. Upon realizing that he will lose, the president recruits the assistance of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to formulate a plan. But inevitably, he must admit defeat and recognize that his son is growing up. Check out 1600 Pin on NBC Thursdays at 8:30. Meanwhile, in the following, Joe Carroll has launched another attempt at capturing his ex-wife Claire using information from a secure call that his followers have decrypted. Hardy manages to escape with Claire to the house of an old FBI buddy hiding in witness protection. Unfortunately, Carroll's men track them down, and after blood is shed on both sides, Claire willingly leaves with the cult in order to be reunited with their son. The cult member Jacob, who was left for dead by Emma during an FBI raid, returns to the cult compound after having killed his best friend Paul, who had suffered a mortal wound during the raid. Now having the taste for murder and blaming Emma for Paul's death, he warns her to stay away from him. Now that Carroll has escaped and has captured his son and his ex-wife, Hardy is up against the ropes fighting the increasingly sophisticated cult. Catch new episodes of the following on Fox, Mondays at 9.
Greene Sloan Memorial Hospital is officially open for business and with a new a new X-ray machine that can diagnose a patient's problem in 13 seconds. In other news, Dr. Bailey is looking for funding for a human genome mapping lab. After asking around, Christina finally decides to give it to her, but just to upset Dr. Russell. Arizona puts on a pair of high heels, and finally, after what seems like forever, her and Callie are able to be intimate with one another. Because Meredith is a doctor, she is worried that any and everything might go wrong with her pregnancy. But on the bright side, she and Derek find out that their new baby is a boy. Tune in this and every Thursday on ABC at 9 p.m. to see what happens next in the drama of the newly named Greene and Sloan Memorial Hospital. After 3 long and painful weeks of waiting, Scandal came back this past Thursday. This episode was all about betrayal and revelations. Olivia takes on a case dealing with the Supreme Court nominee who is accused of having an affair with a married woman. The case has her providing advice to someone else, but in reality, she is talking to herself. Fitz manages to save the U.S. captives thanks to classified information Olivia gives to Captain Jake Ballard and instructs him to take to the president. Huck and Quinn are on their own mission to investigate the suspicious CIA Director Osborne. When Olivia meets with Captain Jake to give him the classified information, paparazzi comes by and snaps a pic of the two. The episode ends with the CIA director receiving a picture of Quinn and Captain Jake attacking the paparazzi to get hold of the picture that was taken. Honestly, who knows what twists and turns will occur next, but tune in every Thursday right after Grey's at 10 p.m. on ABC for more Scandal controversy.
So Alexis, did you watch the following?
Actually, I did. My mom got me addicted to it over spring break. Like, she caught me up on every single episode, and I was glued to the TV, like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? So it was really, really good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. It's like overall, I think it's done very well. Like the acting's really good, the plot's really good, and just like overall, the general idea of this show is a lot different than like anything that you normally see on like regular cable television.
Yeah, definitely.
And I like that they've kind of like kept like an element of realism to it and kind of tried to base off of like actual serial killers or
yeah.
like cults,
which is scary. Like, it's like keeping realism, but it's also outside of the box. Like, you just never know what's going to happen next and what Joe is going to do or get his followers to do. It's insane, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. I can't wait to see what happens next week.
All right, so now it's time for our favorite topic, celebrity gossip. So first, we're just going to briefly talk about Jesse James is now married.
Interesting. Wasn't he the guy who always said he was never really going to get married, never settle down?
I know. I just think, I mean, good luck to whoever he married, but I think it's funny that he cheated on Sandra Bullock recently, and so you think now he'd be happy to be out of marriage and, you know, free to do whatever he wants, but...
Isn't that how guys always are? Well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. How celebrity guys always are.
Yeah.
I don't want to settle down, then they do, then they cheat, and then they're like, I'm free, finally, and then they get married again.
And then, do they do it all over again? Who knows?
Half the time I feel like they just get married because they want to get, like, they like the idea of, like, marriage. They're not, like, not marriage, like,
they
the
need
big
a
wedding.
woman to take care of them.
Exactly. They don't want the whole, like, actual commitment and the real true meanings of marriage.
Yeah. I know. So, I mean, I really honestly don't even care that much about Jesse James because Sandra Bullock is, like, my favorite person. I think she's great. So, whatever. He hurt her.
Best of luck in your marriage.
Yeah.
By that, I mean, no best of luck.
No luck to you.
No luck to you.
All right. So, something I was really sad to hear was my favorite, Ryan Gosling, is going to take an acting break.
No, I love him so much. We were just talking
Yeah.
about how Remember the Titans was on TV the other night, and how no one really remembers, but he's a little scrawny,
Oh my
adorable guy
gosh,
in it.
he's adorable. My favorite is when like Ain't a Mountain High Enough comes on and he's like bopping his head. He's just so
Oh,
adorable.
when he's in like the locker room shirtless, just up against the wall, and I'm just like, you just stay there forever, shirtless up against the wall.
I love him. I mean, he said though he's kind of lost track of what's going on in his life. So
I mean, I can understand
Yeah.
when you're producing and being in so many movies over and over again, like, you don't have time to actually breathe. And
or
like,
be yourself.
exactly.
When you're playing so many characters, after a point, I feel like it's kind of like, who am I? You know?
Yeah. Like, am I this character? I mean, look at Robert Downey Jr. He thinks he's Tony Stark. Maybe that's what's happening to Ryan Gosling.
Maybe. I mean, so, you know, just because there's an acting break doesn't mean we won't see any pictures of him on people.com. There's this thing on BuzzFeed. It was hilarious. It was like, watch Ryan Gosling pump gas into his car, and there were just like all these pictures, and it's like, hey Ryan, and it was so sad because like leave him alone, but it was hilarious at the same time.
It's funny how people get so obsessive over celebrities like
Yeah.
that. It makes me laugh.
I mean, so he's not done with acting ever, but right now we'll just have to take a little break. You can watch Crazy Stupid Love, The Notebook, whatever, while he's on his break. Okay, so recently Bryan Cranston's car was actually broken into in New Mexico, and a Breaking Bad script is missing, and apparently it's the script that has major plot lines and twists. Like, people are kind of freaking out that this is gone.
Yeah, because if you think about it, that's going to affect the producer, the screenwriter, everyone's jobs. And because if it gets out and it ruins what they're filming, I mean, a lot of times people won't tune into the show then, which will then affect their salaries,
Yeah.
their ratings, all of that. So it's just a spiraling, like, kind of chain of events. So it is really sad that someone would do that, break it in and steal it. But then again, I might too if it was one of my favorite shows.
No,
I
you
would-
would not. No, that's like illegal.
Things happen when you're desperate.
I just think, I mean, breaking into anyone's car, it's like obviously wrong, you know. But and I'm sure he feels bad now that this was technically his script.
Did he
because
like leave it on the seat open, or did he hide
I don't
it?
know.
Because I know personally, right? I'm not going to tell everyone this. I anything that I have important, I hide in secret little places
Yeah.
in my car. So if they break in,
I mean, I'm sure
suckers
it
can't
wasn't
get
on
anything
his
good.
front seat like Breaking Bad script. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
probably had it hidden, and someone, you know, maybe he drives like a nice car, so that prompted someone to do something. So
why can't they just be like in Brooklyn and steal the hubcaps? That's what I'm used to. Hubcaps always getting stolen.
So, I mean, and also his 911 call actually was online, and he didn't say in the 911 call that the script was missing, but he just reported the break-in. And I can't even tell you how much I hate that they can play people's 911 calls. Like, luckily this wasn't as serious, but
I just think it's like an invasion of privacy.
Oh, yeah.
I think, like, think about certain, like, car accidents, all that type of stuff. Like, these are your personal freakouts, like, shocking moments. Like, these are those times, like, it's like when you give birth and stuff like that. These are private moments. They shouldn't,
yeah.
unless it's for a court case or something like that, I think we should never be allowed to hear someone's 911 call. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. If people had heard the 911 call I did when I got in my car accident, I'd be mortified. It was personal.
Yeah.
It was scary. I don't want people to know that.
I know, and like as everyone knows, we're not huge fans of the Kardashians, but Kourtney's son, this was a few years ago, he had like an allergy to something, and she called 911, you know, obviously like she was fearing, you know, her son's
Yeah.
life, and the call like made it online, and I hate that.
I just don't understand how people can get the technology to actually take it from the police, or if it's the police who
It might
goes
be,
it online.
they might be public records. I honestly don't
I just
know.
don't think that's appropriate. I don't
Yeah.
care if you're a celebrity or just two average Joes like Sarah and I. I just don't think it's appropriate to
Yeah.
post those.
Not at all. Okay, and a story that happened over the weekend that I was really upset to hear. Ashley Greene, who's best known for Twilight, her apartment actually caught on fire, and she was sleeping in the apartment with her boyfriend and her brother, and reportedly they left a candle lit, and that's how the fire started. And so they left the apartment, and then they remembered about her two dogs, so they went in to get the dogs, and they only got one out. And so, unfortunately, one dog did die. And so I don't know, I was just really upset because I'm a huge dog person. I love
It's
my
just
dogs.
sad in general because, like, if you think that this is someone's pet, like, a lot of people, like you and I, consider our animals part of our family. And no matter what, when you lose someone, it's painful. And especially in a way like that, I'm sure she's feeling guilty because she got one dog out but not the other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the book Sophie's Choice. She had to decide between her kids. And, like,
Yeah.
that's It's hard. It's horrible. I
think knowing, like, that she should have blown the candle out, and, like, that's a horrible way to die. In a fire like that, that is just so sad. So, but the worst thing about the story, I thought, was on TMZ. I don't know who this was, but someone walked into the apartment, and they were holding their cell phone, and they were actually videotaping. And they walked in, and they were videotaping her crying on either her boyfriend or her brother's shoulder. And she was holding the body of the dead dog in the towel, and you couldn't see the dog, but you could see, you know, the figure.
Yeah.
And she was crying, and honestly, like, that makes me so mad.
It's invasion of privacy again.
First of all, who would even tape that? Like, I just don't, what kind of person are you to tape someone at that time like that? You know what I mean?
Sick and cool.
And then who posts that? I just think, and every single comment on that video was like, why is this on the internet? Like, this should not be on here.
Exactly. It's sad. It makes me upset that people do that.
Yeah, again, like an invasion of privacy, and I guess people can argue, like, that's a price, you know, celebrities pay.
I mean, it's still, like, it might be the price that a celebrity pays to be in the limelight all the time, but there's a line that our society needs to understand, that some things need to be private.
Yeah.
Like, deaths, like, stuff like that. Like, these are the moments where we need to remember that they're human too, they need a break.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that the Kardashians and all of them are, like, some, like, super nice, genuine humans or anything, but I'm just saying, like, in general, we should pay them just as much respect as we want in ourselves with our privacy and our moments, because I know when my cat passed away a couple of months ago, people were, like, calling me and stuff like that. They're like, oh, like, how are you? And I just didn't want to talk about it. It was my moment. Like, I just wanted to sit there and just kind of reflect on his life, and it just... That's too much for me when people do that.
And, like, imagine that being, like, online and in the newspaper. That would be awful. All right, well, you know, we're going to get on a lighter note with you guys. Sofia Vergara, you know, Modern Family, she actually has gone blonde.
Interesting. I'm excited to see what it looks like.
She's gorgeous, blonde, brunette, green, purple.
I hate girls like that.
She's pretty no matter what she does. So, you know, maybe, I don't know if she changed this personally, or maybe she's working on a project that it needed to be changed. So, who knows, but...
I'm excited to see.
She looks great no matter what she does. Lucky person.
I hate those type of people. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I was looking at stories to do, and something popped up that said, like, babes on the beach or something, and I click on it, and I see this picture. Putting it up now. Oh my god. Like, Patrick Schwarzenegger, where did you come from? Like, this kid, he's 19 years old. Apparently he goes to USC. You know, his father, famous. He is so attractive.
Is he really? I need to Google this now.
Oh my god, he has like a six-pack, but he's just an average college kid on vacation, you know, which is sad too that there were paparazzi, you know, covering that. But I saw this and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll Google you.
Yeah.
And I did, and he's coming up in the movie Grown Ups 2. And Taylor Lautner is going to be in that, and, you know, Allie and AJ?
Yeah.
Allie from Allie and AJ is going to be in that also. So I think he's, you know, trying to make his way into the business. I don't know how serious he is about it.
That's true.
But we'll see. He might be someone to keep, you know, obviously keep your eye on him because he's extremely attractive, but keep your eye on his career is what I'm saying.
It's interesting. I'm excited to see what he does.
I thought you were going to say to see what he looks like.
Oh, that too, obviously. But I mean, I think I've made enough comments about boys in this episode. But if we're going to go there, I'm really excited to Google him and see his abs. At least I'm upfront about it.
Okay, and lastly, you know, the Duggars, our favorite huge family, now they're thinking about adopting a baby.
20.
Number 20, yes, this would be
too many.
Baby number 20.
That's too many for one family.
Too many?
Too many.
Okay.
I mean, I want 5 kids, and I mean, I'm not some person with a lot of money, so that's going to be a struggle. But 20, my God.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the thing. Like, I think it's great if they want to find a child that needs a home, and is really looking for that. But at the same time, like, I'm sure they wouldn't adopt a kid if they don't think they can support him or her. But also,
what about the other children?
The other
attention.
Children. And there's so many couples now that are also looking to adopt that don't have any kids. I mean,
it just frustrates me because think about, like, when you have 20 kids, how can 2 parents give each kid the right amount of attention, make sure that they feel just as loved as any other kid.
Yeah.
And coming in as an adopted kid into a family like that is he or she's gonna be the only one that's adopted. That's odd man out. That's not gonna feel very nice for them. Like they have to think about it more, and not just that we want to help people, but also the psychological of not only the adopted child but the rest of the kids in the family as well.
That's true. I was actually watching 19 Kids Accounting with my sister during spring break. I don't know why, but in this one part of the episode, they're all like doing different chores and like working. And this sounds bad, but do you remember the movie It Takes Two with Mary-Kate and Ashley?
Yeah.
And she goes to that family and they like make all the kids work in that junkyard. That's like what it reminded me of. Like all these kids are like doing like hard manual labor, and it's just
reminds
like,
me of like
they're kids.
It just reminds me of Cheaper by the Dozen, but not cute with Steve Martin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean ultimately I guess it's their choice, but again, you do a reality show, you gotta be ready for the criticism that comes
absolutely.
with it. So I don't know. We'll see if they're gonna welcome number 20. That would seriously be crazy.
That
20
would be
children.
crazy.
I mean, maybe they
Hey,
just
maybe
want
I'll go 21. Maybe I'll beat them. That'll be my goal in life. 21 kids. I'm kidding. I swear.
For me, 4 tops. I think.
I want 4 of my own, and I want to adopt 1 or 2.
So you're really getting up there.
Yeah. Well, like I want to adopt the kids first, so that they're well integrated into the family before I bring in my own, so that the kids will look up to the adopted siblings.
You've really thought a lot about this.
I've planned my whole life out. Now I just need a figure out what I want to do career-wise and a husband. Hey guys, call me. I'm just kidding.
Either Ryan Gosling or Patrick Schwarzenegger for me, so either one's fine. All right, well that's all we have for now, so thanks for tuning in. I'm Sarah Luke.
And I'm Candace Barbara.
And this is Entertainment Tech.